I wanted to start today with a little humor on this subject because this is a topic that can make a lot of people nervous. And, you know, a lot of us have a lot of stuff around this issue. So, I thought maybe we would get a little giggle over it first. The first one was Jerry Maguire, right? Yeah. Cuba Gooding Jr. He was so fabulous. And the second one was Cabaret, if you didn't know. Yeah. So throughout history, really, we've been dealing with this issue. Mankind has craved it more than, I think, anything else, maybe second only to love. And there's always been issues around it. Humanity has worked themselves to the bone for it and fought for it and, sold their souls for it and enslaved others for it and killed for it and started wars over it. This we human beings have done, believing our supply is out there somewhere and there's not enough of it. So we got to go get it. And we got to make sure that we have it because then we don't have any power, and then we got to learn how to keep it because somebody's going to take it from us, the government's going to take it from us, and all this fear around this topic, this aspect of our lives that is really essential. It's an essential aspect of our lives. And there's just this fear and shame almost around making it and keeping it and losing it and having too little of it or having too much of it. And so here we are, trying to get something that we think is outside of us, when all the while, everything we've ever needed is within us. It's kind of like the going with the motion picture analogy. It's like Glenda's reveal at the end of Wizard of Oz when she turns to Dorothy and says, "The power has always been within you, my dear." Right? And the Tin Man turns to her and says, "Well, then why didn't you tell me?" And she says, "Because she wouldn't have believed me. She had to learn the lesson for herself." So the truth that we need to learn for ourselves is that life doesn't happen to us, it happens through us. Life energy flows from us, not to us. And money is part of that energy. It's actually spiritual substance. It is spiritual substance. And money or currency, I like the word currency because it gives a sense that it is energy. It's an energy exchange. I share my energy with you in terms of my time and my ideas and my open heart and my wisdom that I have gained from, the last 40 years of spiritual study and practice. And you share with me, you exchange with me your energy in terms of your attention and your open mind and your smiles. And part of your money, part of your offering, your tithes goes to pay my salary. And then I, in turn, exchange that energy in form for vegetables from, Farmer Doug, who exchanges his energy in the form of love and labor, nurturing and harvesting those vegetables. And then he, in turn, shares that energy in form for whatever he needs, his truck or seeds or whatever, and on it goes. And so we all kind of do a dance, this dance of energy exchange that is generated from us and circulates out from us, circulates around the world. Really does make the world go round. And it circulates back to us. And it's been this way from the beginning of time. But somewhere down the line, the word and the concept of money, rather than expressing this beautiful dance, this exchange of love energy, has come to signify something bad. We don't even want to say the word money, especially in spiritual community. I said some of you probably looked at the talk title today and said, She's not really going to talk about money, is she? Ooh. Maybe that's why not many people are here. Makes people nervous. Makes us nervous because there's so much stuff around it. I think we should just all say the word. Let's get it over with now. Let's say the word. Money. Oh, yeah. I feel like doing the dance. Because usually there's this hesitancy as if we're afraid that, we're being too materialistic. Or, we associate it with greed or something. And there's this shame around, we shouldn't need it. We shouldn't want it. And I think that really kind of stems, but we can trace it back to that biblical statement. A statement in the Bible that we all know because it was baked into us from the time we were kids, right? Money is the root of all evil, right? That in itself is enough to sort of get our wires crossed over this whole thing, you need it. You need it to live, and yet it's evil. You need it, but it's evil. Have fun living with that conflict, right? Now, of course, that's not really what it says, right? It's a misquote. The true sentence is, the love of money is the root of all evil. And now we're focusing on the symbols of it. We're focusing on the manifest form of this flow of energy. And we focus on that, on the material, the manifest form. You see, that sort of, we're looking to that's the thing that saves us. That's what gives us power. And when our focus is on the manifest form and thinking that is our supply, then we're taking it off of the true supply, which is that infinite, limitless, unbounded, universal substance that is all around us and within us, flowing through us, just like the air we breathe. Right now, take some nice deep breaths. You are breathing in infinite, limitless substance. It's all around you. It's within you. It's moving through you. It's like a fish in water. We're swimming in it. We're breathing it. We're drinking it. We're eating it. It's limitless. Now take another deep breath and hold it in. Hold it. It's getting uncomfortable, isn't it? Okay, let it out. Right? We have to release it. We have to release that breath. And we're not afraid that if we release that breath, there won't be another one there. There won't be any more air left. Of course not. It's just we naturally circulate. That's just the way it works. So why is there such anxiety around releasing substance? Isn't paying our bills or buying something that we need or, giving. As if there won't be any left. As if we won't have any more. So a friend of mine and colleague, I think really, Derek Rydell, we were practitioners together at Agape. He's been doing a lot of study of this subject and has written a really great book called The Abundance Project. And in that he says, when you realize that the source of abundance is spiritual or energetic, the substance of consciousness or spirit, and become unattached to any of its outward symbols, then you begin to generate prosperity that takes nothing from anyone and benefits everyone. You live in harmony and alignment while ending the war for wealth once and for all. That's a really rich statement, I think. So let's kind of tease that apart and dive into it. When we realize the source of abundance is spiritual or energetic. So as we said, money is not, material in essence. It is energy. It is spiritual substance. It has its source in divine mind. It is part of that infinite, limitless, unbounded substance, creative idea from which the entire universe comes forth. It's that same energy. And if we break down the word substance, it means to stand under. Stance, sub, to stand under. So we're talking about that life energy, that invisible life energy that stands under and supports all of creation. And it's intelligent. That life force is intelligence. It's consciousness. And he says here, the substance of consciousness. So what's the substance of consciousness? Ideas, right? Ideas. Are ideas limited? No. We all have an infinite number of ideas, really because we are channels of the one divine mind. So the idea. Okay, so then he says, when we become unattached to outward symbols, that's again the love of money idea, focusing our attention on the symbol or the manifest form, which is limited. The manifest form of limitless energy is limited. So that creates a scarcity mentality. It creates a hoarding and a possessing mentality, and our focus is on getting rather than giving. So we just need to sort of shift our thinking around this topic like any other area of our life where we're tempted to get stuck in that the world of effect, the temporary world of form, the relative world that's really a reflection of our beliefs, many of which are limited. We want to pierce through that veil and see and feel and dwell in that energetic, spiritual realm of limitless good, of limitless possibility. Let's say that together. I dwell in the realm of limitless good. Together, I dwell in the realm of limitless good. That's it. You are. You do. It may not look like that right now, but that is the absolute spiritual truth of each of us right now. It's the absolute truth. So Eric Butterworth says in his book, which I think is the textbook on the subject, Spiritual Economics, we're having a lot of fun with that book in our prosperity class, our Awakened Abundance class, really going through that. It's light bulbs all over the place. So he says, the word affluence is an overworked word in our time, usually implying cars and houses and baubles of all kinds. Its literal meaning is an abundant flow. An abundant fluence is flow, an abundant flow. That's the meaning. So we want to reconnect with that original sense of it. Then he says, God is not a dispenser of divine substance. You know, it's not the hand of God reaching down to give you what it is you need. Not the dispenser of divine substance. God is the allness of ever-present substance in which we live, move, and have our being. The allness of ever-present substance in which we live, move, and have our being. And then he says that ever-present substance must come forth into our experience when we create the conditions that make it inevitable. Ooh. It must come forth into our experience when we create the conditions that make it inevitable. How do we do that? What condition? How do we create the conditions that make our prosperity inevitable? So let's look at that. I think the first place we need to do, the first step, our power of release, activating the power of release. We want to release all of the shadows we have around money, all of the internal conflicts that we have around it. And I think one of the places that we could start is by looking at our judgments are judgments that we have around people who have a lot of it. Sometimes I think we're tempted to be suspicious of people who are really wealthy, like the 1%ers, right? How many of you thought, on whose back did you make that fortune? So, judgments. We want to look at the judgments. Is that true? Necessarily true? No. Then we want to ask ourselves the question, do we believe money corrupts? That's a common belief in our culture. Does money corrupt? Well, again, money is neutral. It's neutral. It's just energy. It's spiritual substance. It is the motivation of the people who use it or misuse it that makes the difference. We have examples on both sides. For example, just as I'm pulling this out of the air, the Koch brothers, okay? On one side, you've got the Koch brothers who use their vast fortune to spread disinformation about climate change in order to protect their, petroleum business. And who knows how much damage, they've been very successful in that attempt, so who knows how much that damage that has caused, right? Now, on the other side, you've got Bill and Melinda Gates, Warren Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, yeah. Those people who use their fortune to eradicate disease, build schools in third world countries, help to send people to college. They do many, many things to help humanity. So it's not the money itself, it's the motivation of the people. It's that motivation. And now that's not to say that we shouldn't work to close the vast income gap that we have in this country. Absolutely, we should. But that has to come from consciousness. Our consciousness has to shift first before, the legislation can work. And I mean a shift in consciousness from this idea, the love of it, the fear of it, the hoarding it, the possessing, the thinking there's not enough of it, to a consciousness, to an awareness of the all-providing substance that is within us all equally, that we all have an equal right to. We all have an equal right to it. The same amount that's in Oprah and Warren Buffett and all of the 1%ers. All of that is within us because it's just spiritual substance. And when we realize it's spiritual substance, we naturally want to open our hearts and give abundantly and to do good with it. That's just how love works. So, take a deep breath. So now let's say we've worked through a lot of these internal conflicts we have around it and released a lot of these shadows that we have around it. The next thing we want to do is make abundance welcome in our lives. We want to make it welcome in our lives. And we do that by aligning ourselves with that infinite substance that is our essence. And looking at it as love energy. Looking at money as love energy and treat it that way. So whenever we hold it in our hands, or we have a financial transaction of any kind, or looking at our account balance, we want to keep in mind this is love energy. This is a tangible representation of intangible universal substance, of infinite abundance that is flowing through us. And honestly, the amount that you have today is the result of yesterday's consciousness. It's like a snapshot. Your account is like a snapshot of yesterday's beliefs, all the beliefs up until now. And what you'll have tomorrow is the result of the consciousness that you're building today. It's being created right now with the consciousness that you are growing into. So if we want to live in increase and expansion. Who doesn't want to live in expansion, expansiveness? Yeah, we want to live in, let's say that together. I live in expansiveness. I live in expansiveness. That feel good? Then we want to love, we want to bless and appreciate all the forms of abundance that we have in our lives. And I mean all the forms. The prosperity form, the form of people who love us, the expressions of kindness, our friends, the beauty of the world around us, the vast sky, the amazing planet on which we live, all of these things, the well-being, all the things that are going right in our body, all the things that are going right in our lives. We want to give thanks and bless that because what we appreciate appreciates. What we appreciate appreciates. So that consciousness of blessing and giving thanks for all of that we have begins to grow this consciousness that we are watering with our gratitude. We are living in this increase that we're watering with our gratitude and with an awareness that it is generated from us in terms of how we share our gifts, our talents, our time, our treasure. It's generated here and circulates out and blesses others. And we can think about that too, how all of the abundance that we share with others blesses them. Like even when you're paying a bill, think about how that money blesses the product, the service that you're enjoying. Think about how your donations bless the thing that you're giving to. So it's all a sort of this circle of sharing of love, energy. And so I have some more ideas about this that I'll be talking about the week after next. Next week we have Nikki Golden coming, who is going to share her ideas on this topic, and she's one of our favorite teachers here, right, Nikki? And then I'll be back the following week and share some more ideas. And so the focus this month is to really help us expand our consciousness so that we can see that money is magnificent oneness now energizing you. Magnificent oneness now energizing you. And so it is. So it is.